Everybody, I'm pushing this video out as a bonus, so this is not coming out on a regular day like a Wednesday. I think I'm pushing this out Monday based on a question that somebody asked me that owns Boris FX Optics. And I had mentioned that I use optics to create my own overlays, and he was asking how to do that. I apologize. I can't find a comment or email for some reason, but anyhow, this video is not going to be for everybody. So if you're interested in making your own overlays to use in your projects, stick around. Are we ready? Let's do it. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to the channel, this is dedicated to photography and as a photo artist, pushing ourselves creatively out of the box. All right, this is a bonus video I'm just pushing out based on a question I got from somebody after watching a video about a week ago, I think, how I used optics to create an overlay to use in a project. And he said he owned optics and was wondering, how do you go through, and create your own overlays to use in projects? So I'm going to do that right here. This is not a commercial for Boris FX Optics. It's just that I've been using this product since day one when it came out, excuse me. And I use it a lot, not only for just effects in my projects, but also for creating overlays, because I used to buy overlays a lot, but now I would say the last 5 years or so, I've been actually creating my own. So let me dive into the program. For the ones that have no interest in this, you could stop the video, and I should be putting out a video, again, every Wednesday, which is pretty much for most of the people. Anyhow, here in Photoshop, what I recommend you doing, and again, I apologize for the one that asked the question, how to do this. I can't find the email or comment anywhere. I don't know what happened, but it's for you. All right. So you start under File dropdown menu to start a new project. And I just highly recommend that. When I used to buy a lot of my overlays, they were 12 inches in width. So if we go over here for new, just make sure set to 12 inches by 8 inches as a height, 300 as a resolution. That's a good starting point. So I'm just going to choose Create. And let's just pull this back a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is you can just fill this in with black. So I just did Alt-Delete. There should be Option-Delete on the Mac to fill that in quickly, as long as your chip color here is black, is your top one there. And then what I'm going to do is open up Optics. And when I open up Optics, that black frame should come in. There we go. And you could, if you open up Optics, start with something in here as a black color, but I like doing it within Photoshop, again, as a plugin. And the category that, there's so many different categories here. There's probably thousands of different things we can get into. But if I go over here into like light over here, there's atmospheres and other things we can go. There's Aurora right there. I'm just going to pick something like this, just to show you that you could go over here in the interface and move this around to change the shape of everything. You can go over here to parameters on the far right, and you can get in there and change the colors. You can change these control points by just going to the sliders here and moving that. So you can see what's happening here on the left side as I do it. So this is the area that you can get into, and there's a lot of different parameters to get in there and customize the look the way you want it to be. And then when you're done, you just apply this. I'm going to go to the lower right-hand corner, choose Apply. And again, go through the program. There are so many effects in there that you can get into, but I'm putting it on a black background. Now I'm just going to save this as a JPEG. So I'm going to go to File drop-down menu. Let's go to Save a Copy. I'll just make sure it is a JPEG image. Give it a name. I'm just going to call it Untitled just to save time, but put it in the folder where you're going to keep, say, all your overlays. For demo, I'm just going to put it in this folder here that says Sample Images, and click on Save. And then I want that at the maximum amount, so it's a little over a meg there, and click on OK to accept that. So let me close out of this, and I'm not going to save that, just say no. And if I double click in my workspace, you can see that that is my overlay I created in Optics, Boris FX Optics. And let's play with this really fast. If you're new to using overlays that have a black background, we use a screen blending mode, so that'll make more sense here in a minute. Let me duplicate this layer. Go to subject to select a subject. Let it do its thing. I'm going to add a mask to that. I'm doing this really fast. I don't want to make this into a full project. I'm going to close out of that for right now. Hide that top layer. Let's be on this one right here. And let's go over to this overlay I just created. Click and drag it into the project. Control T. Move it around, resize it, whatever you want to do with it. I'm just going to move that about right there as an example. Enter on the keyboard. And let's go over here to reactivate this. Now, what I want to do with this is because the reason I cut her out was I want this in the background. And if I do this above her like that, I get this. But you can see a line down here. Hopefully you can on the hand. Well, if I go with the screen blending mode, because again, the background may not be black. It might be, lighter color or something else. I don't want the black to show. So I would be using a screen blending mode, and you can see that disappeared. But because I have a black background, I can get away with not doing screen blending mode. But most of the time, you're probably not working with a black background. Hopefully that makes sense. And so I'm just going to pull that behind. And then I'll just do what I did the last project there. I'm just going to select the layer there, but I'm on the mask. Come down to Effects, and I'm just going to choose, I did Inner Glow. Let this open up, and it's a linear light blending mode, and I'm just choosing a certain color. Move that around. I'm going to do that color right there, and then click on OK to accept that. I'm not going to play around with the parameters and stuff in there, but I'm going to go over here where it says Inner Glow, right mouse click. And again, I did that in the past video. It was on I think the 19th of November. And I'm going to come down to, I'm sorry, was it the 19th? I'm having one of those. Yeah, it was the 19th. And I'm going to come down to create layer from that. And then now it puts that effect on a separate layer. The reason I want that there is I need this to be a mask to apply to that layer. And that way I can grab my paintbrush, B for brush, make sure it's 100%. And I'm thinking, I don't need all this at the very bottom. I just want it in certain areas, maybe the upper part of the body right there for my composition and stuff. So this is turning this on and off right there, along with the overlay. So the person, again, that asked the question, how do I use optics to create overlays? There's the ABCs of that. I apologize. I just can't find the email that you sent me or the comment. For some reason, it disappeared. But that's how I do it. And you'll see that in Boris FX Optics, there are a ton. I mean, who knows how many combinations you can actually get into. And that's one of the reasons why I own optics is I can create my own overlays. But I can also do other effects and things that you probably saw me do in the past, because once in a while I do use that program to do certain kind of borders and film effects and that kind of stuff. So it goes beyond just creating overlays. It's all these other effects I can do to apply to my project. And again, no affiliation with Boris FX. I've been emailing like crazy and commenting to the product manager. We need to make this work in Affinity Photo or Affinity because it doesn't work. I've tried all sorts of combinations. I'm not an Affinity expert at it, but I know a lot of people are. They want to try Affinity because now it's free. It freezes and locks up the program and it crashes. So I cannot make it work, but yet other plugins I was able to make work in Affinity, but Optics, right now it's a no-go. All right, so hopefully you learned something. I know it's quick and fast, but again, for the person that asked that question, hopefully I did answer what you were trying to do in using optics. Until next time, see ya.